Hello and welcome to this new lecture. Something really important happened in the last week. Something that should have gotten a lot more attention from our news, but unfortunately did not. Anyways, I am here to cover this news for all those who are preparing for the UPSC examination. The news is that the International Monetary Fund or IMF has reclassified India's exchange rate regime. Every single year, the IMF releases a report in which they tell which country around the world is following what kind of exchange rate regime. In simple terms, if you look at nations around the world, different countries have a different way of deciding how their currency will be valued. That is, $1 will be equal to how many rupees? How is this decided? In case of certain countries, the country's own governments decide. They don't leave it to the market. On the other hand, there are certain countries where the government or their bank has no role to play. It is a free floating regime. In India's case, it's kind of in the middle. This is what the IMF has also noticed. The IMF has said that India's current exchange rate regime is to be said as crawl-like arrangement. Now, if you look at the news, the government of India's earlier exchange rate regime was called as stabilized arrangement by the IMF. Now IMF is calling it crawl-like arrangement. A couple of important things here. This is not something that the government of India has announced. Please understand. This is not the government of India that the government of India would have announced we are making a change. This is the IMF. Based on their observations about the trend at which the value of rupee is going in the past couple of years, based on their own observations, they have said that this is what India's regime, exchange rate regime looks like. Now, this is a part of the annual report, which is called as the Annual Report on Exchange Arrangements and Exchange Restrictions. This is an annual report that is given by the IMF. Do remember this part as well, because UPSC in the prelims does ask these kind of questions. They'll give a name of a report and they will ask which of these institutions publishes this report. So IMF, as I said, has said that India's current regime of exchange rate looks like a crawl-like arrangement. Now, this classification, as I said, has nothing to do with the Indian government. This is IMF's own assumption, their own observation, based on how the Indian rupee has behaved in the last couple of years. Now, if you look at it, what exactly do we mean by this? How does it matter? What are the implications? This is what we'll be discussing. As I said, around the world, there are mainly three types of exchange rate regimes. One, hard peg, which is a fixed system where the countries decide or the government decide $1 will be equal to how much money. In fact, in 1970s, we had a similar kind of a system. The government of India used to decide $1 will be equal to how much money. Similarly, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the floating regimes. Floating regimes are situations where the government plays absolutely no role. Central bank will play no role. The market demand and supply of a certain currency will determine the value of that currency. In the middle is what we have the Indian system, that is a soft peg system. It's of different type. Earlier we used to be in this category as per the IMF, the stabilized arrangement category, and now we end up crawling peg category. So if you actually see, not much has changed drastically. It's not that something really big has happened, something really has changed over the years. It's similar to where we were earlier. Now, what is it that the IMF says? IMF says that this is a system that India has entered because the Indian Central Bank, that is the RBI, is playing a much more active role now in determining the value of Indian rupee. You all know the RBI undertakes something called as the open market operations. I hope all of you have read about these. RBI has open market operations, OMOs. Open market operations in simple terms means when the RBI buys or sells government securities. These are called open market operations. The RBI undertakes these kind of operations to decide the value of dollar against the rupee, to decide $1 will be equal to how much. The IMF has observed that in the last couple of years, the RBI has made sure that the Indian currency has a very smooth curve. Means the currency may go down or may go up, they may appreciate or depreciate, but it does not randomly fluctuate. It's a smooth kind of a curve. You will not see rupee going from 80 to 90 in one single day, for example. It may keep depreciating, but it's a very smooth, gradual curve. It is not random. This can only happen if the RBI is playing a very active role. They say that RBI has regularly intervened in these matters. They have prevented sharp volatility. Again, this is not a criticism. It's not that they are saying the RBI should not have done that. It's just an observation. RBI has done this. The Indian rupee value has not changed over 2% over a short period of time. This is something that the IMF has observed, that whenever the value of rupee starts to depreciate a lot, the RBI releases some dollars in the Indian market so that the value of the rupee stabilizes. IMF has said that Indian currency is a currency that shows statistically significant trend within plus minus 2% margin for 6 months or more. So this is what they have said, that since 2024, RBI has made sure that in a 6-month time period, the rupee does not go up or down more than 2%. This is why IMF is calling it a crawl-like arrangement. It is crawling. So the implication is it's a smooth trending movement. It allows the Indian traders to have much more stability in trading. See, the problem with currency fluctuation is if you're an importer or an exporter, you do not want a high fluctuation of currency. Think of it. For example, let's say you are importing something into India. You have placed an order from the US. It's a dollar for $1,000. Now, at the time that you place the order, $1,000 or $1 was 80 rupees. Let's say the time that your order arrives in 1 week, the exchange rate goes up and now $1 is for 90 rupees. So now you have to pay much more money as compared to what you had planned to pay. So whenever there's a fluctuation, it goes up or down, importer or exporter, they have to be prepared for it. And this is not good for any business, any environment for the business. And that is why the RBI tries to make sure it's a smooth transition. RBI has been intervening regularly through, as I said, open market operations. And they could do that because RBI has maintained a healthy amount of foreign exchange reserves. Now, if you go to RBI websites, every 2 weeks they publish this data. On the RBI website, you can see how much foreign exchange reserve does the RBI have at any given point of time. So on an average, we have maintained $670 billion of foreign exchange reserves in 2025. This much money, this much foreign exchange allows RBI a free hand to play this role, and they are able to get a lot of dollars in the market whenever the time requires. There are many international factors as well that are playing a role in depreciating of Indian currency. The US interest rate hikes, it's the biggest factor. Think of it. If a US investor has invested their dollars into India, hoping to get a good return, all of a sudden, if they are told that if you invest the money back in the US itself, you will get a very good rate of interest. So all the investors are taking out their dollars from the Indian market, getting it back to the US. Because in the US, they think that their money is safer, their investment is safer, and now they're getting a higher rate of interest in the US. Why to bring the money all the way back to India? So dollars going out of India because of US interest rate hike. Oil price volatility, because of oil prices increasing, we have to give a lot more dollars to buy that oil. So again, dollars are going out of the market. The simple calculation of $1 will be equal to how much money? It simply depends on how many dollars do we have in the Indian market. It's a very simple case. Think of a dollar as a commodity. Let's understand this. Let's say this is a pen. Okay. This pen, if it is the only one single pen in the country, there is no other pen like this, everyone wants to buy this, then the price of this pen will automatically increase. Understand, if this is the only pen in the Indian market, everyone wants to buy it, the price of the pen will automatically go up. Now, if I tell you there are crores of these pens today in the Indian market, the price will automatically fall down because they are easily available. You can bargain also. Now, replace this pen with a dollar. If there is only $1 in the entire country, then it will be sold at a very high price. Everyone wants that dollar. On the other hand, if I tell you there are crores of dollars in the Indian market today, then you can buy that dollar much more easily. So think of dollar as a commodity, not a currency. And then you can understand how the rates of $1 are decided. So the more dollars that we have in the Indian market, the easier the dollar will get available for you. It will be cheaper. When we have lesser dollar in the Indian market, it will become much more costlier. So RBI does this. They try to increase or decrease the money supply. And when the dollar goes out because of these things, because of US interest rate hike, the oil price volatility, or the global uncertainty, the dollar goes out of the Indian market and we have depreciation of rupee, which is not in our control. RBI then tries to increase the growth or the circulation of dollar in the Indian market. This is what RBI has been doing. And again, this is not a negative feedback. This is just an observation made by the IMF that according to us, India's exchange rate system is going in this way, where Reserve Bank of India, that is the Central Bank of India, is playing a much more active role. Also, our dependence on import of gold, which was very high in demand, petroleum products, for that also we have to spend our foreign exchange. That has also not worked well in India's favor, leading to depreciation of the Indian rupee in the long run. Now again, this classification matters because it is an statement by the IMF for the global traders. The countries around the world now can trust India more, can trust the Indian currency more, because they know that Indian currency will be stable in the long run. They can now understand, or they can now imagine, that the Indian currency will not fluctuate very heavily. So it's not a negative news, it's a vote of confidence that the government of India or the central bank will not just let the currency float as it wants. It will have certain kind of restriction, it will have certain kind of control. So the traders can also come in bigger confidence. This is it for this news story, and very important news story from economics point of view. If you want this PDF for your revision, do join my Telegram channel. Link in the description of the video. If you want me to cover any other important news stories, do tell me in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit the like and the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind.